the mic, making sure production's tight.
I was hoping, in all honesty, that we can. It's quite exciting, let's just say. The fact that we're in for multiple players in a short space of time, and we are. Let's be honest. I think we've got Van der Beek in a bag. I think we're looking at Thiago Alcantara. We're looking at Jadon Sancho, Jack Grealish, Dale Upamecano. I mean, this is madness for me, in all honesty, because like I said, just done a video on Van der Beek and obviously how he's shaping up. Obviously some of the stats and whatnot with him, but it's exciting times at the moment. We've been waiting for it long enough. I just don't know now if we're gonna be let down. It doesn't feel like that. The reason why it doesn't feel like we're going to be let down is purely because Ollie's at the helm. Now, if you look at the deals that he's done already, as we know, well reported, um, Dan James, obviously Harry Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, obviously on loan, but Igalo and Bruno Fernandes more recently. Now, the position that we're in at the moment is a good one. Reason I said it is because obviously with the not to say it's a good thing, but the pandemic has sort of put the back burner for most teams. For them, they're having to sell players before they can buy. Manchester United aren't in that position. Don't get me wrong, there is some still some deadwood in and around the side that I'd like to get rid of, but we don't have to sell before we can buy. That is a crucial point which I wanted to really hit home on. Now, if we start with Van der Beek and where we are at the moment, just wanted to go and have a quick look at some of, the comparison of Van der Beek and how he looks at the moment compared to what we've already got. Now, obviously, you see McTominay and Fred, obviously between them 29, 27 games, 4 goals and 1 assist between the two, obviously coming from McTominay. Pogba, who obviously played only half that amount, has obviously scored once and assisted 3 times. That's obviously nearly the same amount of Fred and McTominay combined, who have played almost double the amount of goals as Pogba. Obviously, looking across the line to Bruno Fernandes, who is stalwart, obviously world-class player. He's played less Premier League games than anyone, scored more goals. Obviously, a lot of those are penalties, and obviously assisted more than them as well. Which is obviously combined between Pogba, Fred, and McTominay. Obviously, he's done more out of 3 compared to himself. Van der Beek, obviously, looking at his stats from the Eredivisie, played 37. Well, not Eredivisie, but in all competitions. Sorry, where he's played 37 games, scored 10, and assisted 11. Now, he has been described as a box-to-box midfielder. Now, what does that mean for us in terms of going forward? For me, the teams where your Brightons, your not Bournemouth anymore, but your Leeds potentially, and lots of sides other than maybe Liverpool, City, and Chelsea, where we'd expect to have majority of the ball, you can play Van der Beek together with Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. In the other games where we're expecting to have to battle a bit more, maybe then you start a Matic or a Fred. Just depends, but to have these options, to have the quality and depth is absolutely crucial. So I feel like it's absolutely, well, it's fantastic that we're looking at signing Van der Beek as well. Now, just to touch upon his progression as well, if you're looking at his first season in 16-17, where you're looking at his goals and assists, which have obviously gone up season by season, obviously looking a bit more sort of inflated on the 18-19 season, where Ajax almost went all the way in the Champions League, where obviously they played more games. But in terms of this season, obviously it's not really dropped off. If you look at the amount of games where he played 20 more games in 18-19 season as opposed to the 19-20 season, he's literally on pace for his best season ever, which says a lot. Now, I think if we if we're signing these types of players, and now I wanted to get onto, I did want to, in all honesty, get back onto the Thiago Alcantara sort of situation with regards to Man United are actually in for Thiago Alcantara. Obviously, Liverpool are favourites, but it's been reported saying that Liverpool have to sell before they can buy. As I just said before, a lot of other Premier League teams and across Europe are in a position where they're having to sell before they can actually buy anyone, which obviously stands in good stead, which is why I suppose Barcelona and Real Madrid were very interested in Van der Beek, but obviously it's been widely reported that since Ollie spoke with Van der Beek, he made his mind up and said, right, I want to go to Manchester United, and that's the way the cookie crumbled. But with the rest of Europe and the rest of the Premier League, they do need to sell. Maybe Man City and Chelsea are the exception, the guys with the big money owners, that kind of thing. They're the exception, but most teams will need to sell before they can buy. Now, Van der Beek was an interesting one because, as I say, Ollie got involved with that personally, where he normally leaves it to Matt Judge and Ed Woodward. But Ollie got involved, spoke to Van der Beek himself, and that pretty much made up Van der Beek's mind. In an interview, it's reported in an interview, it was said that Van der Beek was, kind of made his mind up while after speaking with Ollie, and he was impressed with his ambition and where he saw the club and where we obviously what he's done already for Manchester United. So, I mean, that bodes well, it really does. But I suppose it's a case of watch his space and see in terms of how well he does. That's a case of his medicals booked in for this week, and next few days you can expect an announcement. Maybe Friday you'd like to expect, but he's away of Netherlands at the moment, so he'll get his medical done with some of the United personnel out there as well. As the question poses in the graphic, Van der Beek, Upamecano, Thiago, or Grealish, who would you pick? And Aldo Vic has said he'd go with Van der Beek and Upamecano out of the four, which would, which is a fantastic choice. You strengthen your midfield and your centre back pairing. For those that you've watched my channel before, you'll know that I'm not a massive Lindelof fan. Obviously, Maguire didn't have the best of seasons, but we at least know that his level can go up a bit more. Sammy has said, "What do you think about Koeman over Sancho?" I'd be more inclined to wait for Sancho. If we had to wait a season knowing that we're going to get Sancho, I'd prefer to wait than buying Kingsley Coman, purely because obviously we're going to have massive resale value after say 7, 8 years. If it came to it, like Cristiano Ronaldo, that he wanted to move on, you're still going to have massive resale value. And that's what Manchester United like to do. Not only that if he didn't and he'd become a lifer at Manchester United, obviously we've got a good 10 to 12 years of great seasons ahead with him, you'd hope. Upamecano signed a new deal already. Yes, he did with RB Leipzig, but that was more to increase his release clause than anything else, because I think it was something like 30 million pounds it would have been for if they hadn't changed that. Absalom is saying, I think we will be surprised with who will come in next year, mate. Do you agree? Yeah, I do. There, it will be a name we know but did not expect. Like, for example, that's a very good point there. Put that back up. Absalom Williams saying, it's a bit of surprise. Now, there was no real, this time last week, there was nothing being said about Donny van der Beek. That has been something that, we've been lamenting in terms of Manchester United deals in the past, where it's taken ages. Everyone knows about what player we're after. That allows the clubs to drag their feet and whatnot, use the press as sort of like, sort of like an intermediary to delay stuff and try and inflate the price. This one has just been wham bam, thank you, ma'am. I think the fact that Edwin van der Sar is involved in this, obviously as the PSG, I think what is he, director of football or something like that? But yeah, in fact, the fact that he's been involved has helped the cause as well. So I agree with that statement that obviously we're going to be bringing in some players that we're not really all aware of. I think Dale Upamecano is one where I feel like we're going to be, for that, again, those of you that watch my channel before, you'll know that I'm a massive Upamecano fan. He would be my #1 centre-back choice to replace Victor Lindelof. Problem is, we've got so many centre-backs in the squad, and we've not sold any yet. Obviously, expecting Marcus Rojo to leave and go back to Argentina, maybe, or somewhere else in Europe. You're expecting Chris Smalling to leave and maybe go back to Roma. But other than that, there's not really been any reports of Manchester United centre backs specifically leaving the club. So if we was to buy another centre back, which I believe we need and definitely want, we're then putting another centre back on top of, I think, like 9 centre backs that we've got at the club. So for me, we do need to be letting some of these players go. You know, but yeah, that's by the by. Evan, as Jesse says, there's no way we're getting Grealish for 75 mil. I mean, it's a very good point. I feel like the amount that Aston Villa want, if they had been relegated, which if buts maybes that didn't end up being the case, if they're relegated, I think we all know that the price tag would have been significantly less than it is and what they're requesting. As it is, they're still in the Premier League, so they can ask for Premier League prices for a premium on English talent. Simple as that. Sammy has said, where would Van der Beek fit in? Basically, he'd be, as I was mentioning at the top of the program, if we were playing against sides that, not Liverpool, not Man City, maybe not Chelsea, all the rest of the Premier League, you can start them 3 together in terms of Van der Beek, Pogba, and Bruno Fernandes. Retain possession, creative opportunities increase as well with the vision and the passing ability of Van der Beek. If we didn't, as if we didn't have enough with Pogba and Bruno, but you can never have too much creativity. You can have too much quality and depth in it as well, but we don't have anywhere near that. You could see it in last season where we're struggling with the injuries, that we need to add the quality to the depth of the squad. You add quality to the starting lineup and the bench becomes automatically stronger. So that being said, it's a fantastic acquisition, and yes, it's going to be I think he's going to be a success. Sammy's got another question. Do you think we would change our formation to fit Van der Beek in our starting 11? No, I believe we'll stick to as we are, either 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1 as Ollie prefers, where Van der Beek will probably sit next to Pogba. Again, that's on sides that we should be beating, sides that like to put sort of like 10 men behind the ball and try and frustrate us and catch us on a break. I believe those are the teams that we can look at capitalising, playing Van der Beek, Pogba and Bruno Fernandes in. Because he's more of a box-to-box midfielder, as is Paul Pogba. None of them are naturally holding midfielders. The fact that we're signing Van der Beek would suggest that we're not going to be buying a holding CDM. I think Ollie has a bit more faith in Matic, and the fact that we've got Fred who can sort of deputise in that position as well. So for me, I think we'll look to keep that as is in terms of formation and setup as well. Draco's in the house. What's going on, brother? Love the fun now. Get them all. Yes, bro. Listen, people, I suppose, will say Grealish. Why Grealish? Now, again, if you look at Man City and the amount of players they've got, obviously they've just let Leroy Sané go. But they've, in those 4 positions, you've got Sergio Aguero, Gabriel Jesus, Bernardo Silva, Riyad Mahrez, Raheem Sterling, Phil Foden, and then behind him you've got De Bruyne. Obviously, they've just let Silva go as well, but that's like 6 or 7 top quality players that you're going to be using and obviously rotating in your squad. In that your squad happiness seems to be fine. It's just defensively where City struggle. So for me, you look at teams like City, where they've got that many attacking players rotating from week in, week out. For me, that's the reason why you can get them all. Just like Pokemon, got to catch them all. So yeah, Van der Beek don't count. We already got him, so I'm gonna cheat. Thiago and Dea. Okay, fair enough, Draco, my brother. Guys, make sure you're checking out Draco's channel as well. Yeah, that's. I suppose you could say that, yeah, we've already got Van der Beek, but yeah, Thiago, for me, again, you're just looking at the type of players that we could possibly be lining up with. Now, as Draco said there, we pretty much sealed up the Van der Beek deal, just waiting for that photograph of him sitting down signing his contract. So Dale Upamecano is an absolute must for me. I think realistically, we do need to look at signing a top quality centre back. I know Koulibaly's been mentioned over the past 24 months. For me, you've got to look past him now. The transfer fees way too much, and also he's in the twilight, heading towards the twilight years of his career. He's actually in the prime of his career right now. But for me, Dale Upamecano is of that ilk where he can reach those levels and possibly go above. So yeah, I would say that sign them both, Thiago and Upamecano. Absalon says, mate, do you think we will only bring in Van der Beek now that Sancho is a doubt? Sancho, the only reason Sancho's a doubt, I believe, is just purely because the amount that Dortmund are asking for. So I think what Ollie's trying to build is so much attacking prowess that we're just going to annihilate teams, and he's looking to strengthen at the back as well, alongside Harry Maguire and Wan-Bissaka and Luke Shaw. So, and I think realistically where we are now, again, if Sancho's not going to happen this summer, resume it again the following summer. But if it's not happening, I don't believe that's the only deal that we'll do is for Donny van der Beek. I believe that we'll be looking at, the fact that we are realistically, we're not in a position where we don't need to sign players. We're not in Liverpool's position. Even Liverpool need to strengthen. We're in a position where we need to add quite a fair bit to our squad, to our starting 11, to make it comparable to City's and Liverpool's. I don't believe Liverpool will have the same season that they had last season. That's such a high standard and such a tough thing to keep up with. So I can't see Liverpool repeating that feat again next season, especially as other teams are going to be strengthening across the league. I mean, you see Everton, they've been linked with James Rodriguez from Real Madrid, saying the deal's looking at getting done next 48 hours. So for me, everyone is strengthening. If Liverpool don't strengthen any more than they already are, then other teams are going to be catching up with them, like Chelsea, City, ourselves, even Arsenal trying to make a little bit noise. But let's not kid ourselves. Arsenal aren't going to be catching up with us. Is there Upamecano really being reported to us, or is it fake news? No, Joe, that's actually been reported that Manchester United are actually interested in him, and it's multiple sources, multiple reports, ESPN, Sky Sports, Bleacher Report, you name it. So yeah, that's definitely us. But I see that Draco's caught up on that one as well. It's been reported by various outlets, also by some reputable reporters. There is something there, but nothing concrete at all at the moment. Yep, couldn't have said it better myself, Draco. At the moment, we're just looking at the fact that we are literally in the running for some decent players. As I said, going back to it, Jack Grealish, probably the fee would, possibly keep us from doing a deal there. But in terms of Thiago, we're definitely in for Thiago. In terms of Upamecano, we're definitely interested in Upamecano. There are some other centre backs that we're linked with as well. But as I've mentioned before, Dale Upamecano for me is the outstanding young centre back in European football at the moment. So for me, that's the number one centre back that we should be going for at the moment. I would absolutely love if we signed Dale Upamecano. Absolutely, I would love it. I would love it if we signed him. Sorry. I'm just conscious that we need to get these deals done now. The great thing about these potential transfers, for example, Thiago, and the fact that we got Donny, it does seem that we will be plan B and C, which is great. The depth and dimension will be a joy. Absolutely, couldn't have said it better myself there, Draco. The options that we'll have available to us, the depth that we'll have available to us. Again, the fact that we are adding to our starting 11, only serves to make the bench stronger, which then obviously serves. We're back in Champions League, folks. We have to remember that we're back in transfer Champions League, so we've absolutely got to be able to, if you like, make an impact. If we're serious about it, there's no point going into the Champions League and just willy nilly. We've got to be able to make an impact on games, and the only way you do that is by having a strong squad, not a strong starting 11. Because, like it's seen last season, players get burnt out. So yeah, okay, right, okay. What was that there? So okay, so at Joe Richardson, no worries, brother. I would love him at United. Listen, I suppose you know what, the fact that we're in contention is enough for me. In all honesty, so whether it happens or not, Thiago, I'd say he's more favoured to go to Liverpool because there's more of a need for him at Liverpool than there is at Manchester United. But that being said, listen, he's 29 years of age. His injury record isn't the best. So Pogba's got 2 major injuries in the last 2 seasons. Bruno can't play every single game. We've brought in, obviously, Van der Beek, but you can never have too much quality. Look at us winning 99 season when we had Sheringham, Solskjaer, Yorkie and Cole up top. Didn't have too much quality then. Mate, do you think we have the best signing so far and added to their squad? Do you know what? That's Absalom Williams there. Van der Beek is someone that I don't believe that everyone across Europe actually appreciates how good he is. I think when he was part of that Ajax side that nearly won it all in the Champions League in 18-19 season, you had sort of Frankie de Jong, who was highlighted as the best player, and then obviously Matthias de Ligt. So Donny van der Beek went under the radar. As I mentioned before in my other video, that Real Madrid actually had a fee agreed with Ajax in February, but just before the lockdown happened. So that being said, it kind of tells you, if you've got the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid after you, kind of tells its own story. Shane also believes United have upped the gear because they know that there is a 14-day quarantine rule in the UK. So signing them this week is crucial. Otherwise, they can miss the first few games. Absolutely fantastic point there, Draco. Yeah, that's a brilliant point. The fact that we, like I said, it's going to be a 14-day quarantine very soon. You can imagine from other countries coming in. Fantastic point there, that the beginning of the season for Manchester United, if we're missing those crucial players, it's not going to be any good for us. So I'm absolutely gassed about that. I'll be honest with you. We linked with Thiago Alcantara, where there is genuine interest from Manchester United. Dale Upamecano, again, genuine interest from Manchester United. Jadon Sancho, we all know that's the worst kept secret. That's just trying to work out the fees. Whether it happens this summer or not, I still believe it will get done. Matter of when and not if. I'll continue to say that. Jack Grealish, probably the one that will miss out because we've just signed Van der Beek. If we were to get Thiago and Sancho this summer and Upamecano, I would say that's pretty much our transfer budget going to be spent. So for me, Jack Grealish would possibly be the one that misses out. Again, if we do get Thiago Alcantara and the fact that we're getting Van der Beek, and if we do get Upamecano and Sancho, that would be an amazing window. What would that be like if we sign all them players? Would that be our best transfer window ever, do you think? If we sign all those players, I'll say it again, if we sign Donny van der Beek, Thiago Alcantara, Jadon Sancho, and Dale Upamecano in this transfer window, that's 4 players. Would that be our best transfer window ever? Considering that Wan-Bissaka is now rated as the best one-on-one defender in the Premier League. If considering that Bruno Fernandes got in, pretty much part of the Premier League team of the year after only 14 games. Harry Maguire kind of, had his ups and downs, but as an improvement. And Daniel James, obviously, good squad player. Igalo, different type of player. It was a good transfer window. But if we sign, I say it again, Donny van der Beek, Thiago Alcantara, Dale Upamecano, and Jadon Sancho in this transfer window, would that be our best transfer window ever? That's amazing. That would be absolutely fantastic if we sign all those guys. Do I think it's going to happen? Possibly not. This is Manchester United after all. But the fact, again, back to Draco's point, what he said, that if we could bring those players in now before it becomes a 14-day lockdown period, that's why Manchester United are acting very quickly. Very good point there. Raymond Moore's in the house. What's going, Raymond? Let's get put up there. Are we still gunning for Sancho after this Van der Beek signing? Surely the budget has come down. Well, yeah, it's a very good point, Raymond, but I don't actually feel like the budget's been completely depleted. I mean, the 40 mil, you'd say that's not even a third of what we've got available to spend. I'd hope not anyway. I hope that's not the case. But if it is, then so be it. We'd have to pick up Sancho next season. It will be one of the best transfer windows in a very long time, especially when we have also signed Bruno this year. Completely agree there. Absolutely. I think we don't give Ed and Glazers enough credit for how they handled this signing for the first time in many years. They had a quick handled it quickly. Prove them to do quick deals, mate. Yeah. Do you know what? If they, like I say, that Van der Beek deal this time last week was nowhere on the radar. Radar. Got radio and radar mixed up, but it wasn't on the radar. I said it again. It wasn't on the radar this time last week. So for me, they've done well. There's done some stuff behind the scenes, which is what we want, to be fair. We don't want everything in the public eye all the time. And then you can't sort of separate, fact from fiction. We like the fact that it was done sort of like behind closed doors, and all of a sudden, bang, we've got a medical for him, over the past 24 hours really is where it's all sparked. So for me, I love this type of signing where it's not expected. And as it was mentioned before, we possibly will be signing players that we're not actually all in the know about. We're not sort of all fully aware of. So for me, that's fantastic. Yeah, I'm fully pleased with that. Long may it can continue. And the fact that we are after these players shows intent. It doesn't mean you're going to win everything, but the intent is there. We're not signing your Maro and Fellaini's. We're not signing a washed-up Alexis Sanchez. We're not signing these types of players. We're signing players that can have an impact now and for a very long time to come. So for me, that is something that stands out. I did want to just sort of show a graphic on Van der Beek and sort of the impact he's been having in the Eredivisie as well, in terms of where he ranks. In terms of, this is just for last season, where in terms of assists, he ranked 14th with 5 goals. He ranked 17th with 8 chances created. He ranked 20th with 41. Big chances created 6, ranked 32nd, and shots on target, he ranked 16th. So he's a creator, and he's a goal threat. I wouldn't say he's a goal scorer. He is a goal threat on occasion. So he'll get a goal every maybe 4 games, so to speak. So for me, and you look at the heat map over the left where he operates, it's kind of next to where Pogba operates, isn't it? So and Bruno's further ahead of the two. So for me, I'm more than looking forward to seeing him line up alongside Pogba and Bruno Fernandes from time to time. So yeah, it'll be really, really good, and I'm hoping that we do add to that, because if we add to Van der Beek and we do get Upamecano, we're strengthening our starting lineup again, which I say again only serves to strengthen our bench as well, and quality and depth. Just go back to the comments. Papa Stores, what's going on, man? Van der Beek is a brilliant signing. Let's just use this as a means to go on. Now a top centre back, Sancho, Reguilon would be class transfer window for United. Come on, United. You know what? That's a really, really good point. That is Reguilon, how you ever say that. Obviously played against us for Sevilla, and he was dangerous throughout. And for me, wouldn't be a bad shout in terms of strengthening our squad again. Obviously, Luke Shaw, we know, has done well last season before as well, obviously, but unfortunately he gets lots of injuries. So Reguilon would be a welcome addition to the squad for sure. That's if Brandon Williams doesn't sort of progress as well as he would like. Supreme Shrek, Arsenal is better. Man United. Banter FC in the house. Banter FC in the house. Let's get rid of that. Donny is under the radar type player, like Muller. Gets the job done and goes home. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. The fact that we're getting these, this is the type of deal that we need to do. These are the types of deal that we need to make happen. And you know, it's a case of now we've just got to keep getting these deals done. Now, Upamecano is not exactly under the radar. However, he's 21 years of age. He could be at Manchester United for the next 15 years in the starting lineup. Should his performance warrant that, should we get that deal done? So for me, these are the types of deals that we need to be getting done. And there's no harm in adding experienced players as well to the mix. Donny van de Beek's 22, 23. And you know, he's adding some quality to the lineup. So yeah, for me, Thiago Alcantara, again, experienced player, but brilliant player as well. So yeah, I just completely agree with the type of players that we've been linked with now, and the fact that we are in this position, we've finished third, Champions League football, and we're going after these players. We're making it happen. This is where we need to be. This is where we need to be, and long may it continue again, as I say. And yeah, absolutely looking forward to it. Where can we go? How far can we go? If we're signing Sancho, if we're signing Thiago and Van der Beek and Upamecano, how high can we finish next season? I'll put that to you guys. How high can we finish next season if we're signing Thiago, Upamecano, Jadon Sancho, and now obviously Van der Beek? How high can we finish? That makes our squad incredibly strong. As I said, we've already got 9 centre backs in the squad already. But for me, if we can add those types of players to the setup, I'd love to see it. Absolutely love to see it. Supreme Shrek, I'm a United fan. Laughing face. I wanted to see your reaction. Thoughts on Upamecano, or would you like Badiashile? Now, good question. Very, very, very good question there, Supreme Shrek. You know what? Upamecano has been my choice. Before we were linked with him in terms of in the press, he was my number one choice of centre back. And as I just sort of reiterated there, for me, the fact that he is 21 years of age, the fact that his potential is world class, he could be better than Koulibaly. He's, you know, on the ball, he's very good, tackling very good, strong, quick, you know, good in the air. Just he's got everything, absolutely everything you'd want for a modern day centre back, and especially in the Premier League as well. So for me, it'd have to be Upamecano. But let's not get it twisted. I've seen Badiashile play a few times now. He's a very good player as well. But for me, it's number one. Upamecano would be my choice for sure. Go back to the comments with Draco. Our squad is averaging very young, so yeah, adding experienced players will only benefit. That's why Thiago will be great for the younger guys, along with Bruno and Pogba. Couldn't have put it better myself there, Draco. If we're adding quality, it's adding quality to the depth. If we're adding quality to the starting lineup, it's adding quality to the overall squad. So yeah, couldn't agree more. And yeah, it's my question is, if we sign those players, how high can we finish? Are we going to remain in third place? For me, if we'd signed Bruno Fernandes, we still would have finished in third, but the points tally would have been a bit greater. That's my opinion in terms of this season just gone. Okay, go. This is a good point here. Absalom says it's not a matter of where we will finish, mate, but we'll and have it to close the gap. In my opinion, yeah, I think we're going to close the gap. I do. I feel like we're going to be closing the gap quite significantly. Even with the squad as it is now, I feel like we'll be closing the gap, hopefully a bit more significantly than where it finished at the moment. So yeah, I'm hopeful. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, sharing, and commenting as well. Yeah. I'm going to keep you posted. Anything else comes up throughout the day, I'll keep you posted. Throughout the week, keep you posted. Thanks a lot for joining me, guys, and I shall see you in the